for other website reviews, leave it in the comment section, or you can also fill out the form in the description. We'll take a look at any website, even if you're not a part of the PhotoBiz platform. But you can always find out more details by going to our blog.photobiz.com. You can see new things such as what's new at PhotoBiz this month, some really great new features. So we have one of my favorite new features is the quick change block. You can see it's really awesome. You can just tap here and it'll immediately change the block styling, so you don't even have to go into the actual layout designs of the menu settings. Makes it very fast and easy. We also have brand new layouts in general, so different layouts such as overlay splits, things like that for dynamic banner stylings. Those are now available as well. You can also see we've also upgraded some SEO features such as our AI alt text generator. It's easy to use. Just tap Ask PhotoBiz AI on any photo that you've uploaded, and it will generate AI text that is perfect for SEO purposes directly onto the photo. Some block link update the name of the block, which is really helpful for when you know, like maybe you're describing it versus the text. What's really nice about this is it helps with where you want this to, tap to. You could say, hey, click here, and they'll drag them right to that block on any page. So it can be on a separate page itself, and then you just choose where it links to directly, making it faster and easier to get to the direct information that you're any. Those latest features are out now. Take advantage of them. Start building your website to be better and stronger today. So let's take a look at some websites that we have for review. We're going to dive right on in. We're going to click on our first one. This is called Inclusions for a Better Future. Let's see what we got going on. So you can see something about instructional practices for all students. We got some images here, some titling, educational workshops, and multiple links to direct them to paths. Here we have a few little widgets and stuff like that. So I would probably, it's using this narrow landscape. The problem with narrow designs these days, if you have a lot of content like this, it just feels more squished. I feel like if you have a narrow website, it needs to be more intimate feeling at the end of the day, so less is more. Where this feels like there's a lot of content directly on the homepage itself, especially when you get to the menu block of where you'd like to direct them to go. This just feels overwhelming, so I would love it to be more spread out or even smaller, just to kind of play with it. If you were using a full frame web design, it might look a little bit more less condensed. But within the design that you have now, I think what I would do is break up some of this information. As someone that's just scrolling through, especially if they're on mobile, it's just going to be block after block after block. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 blocks total directly here. There's a way to maybe condense this down a little bit to make it a little bit more attractive. Maybe go by 4 since we have 12. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that might look a little bit more interesting versus by 3. So maybe change the design layout just a touch on that side. When we come down here, I think this section looks nice with this clickable. This area here, I think this can be probably use the dual block system and have these side by side versus stacking, because now we're making it even more narrow, so it kind of does this inverted pyramid shape as we go down the page. It just feels like it's a little left over at the end. Even this here at the bottom, just to kind of have everything sandwiched a little bit better. Next section's here and there. Something I would definitely do is, it says click here for information, but make this a button so it's visible, a little bit easier to read, and it gives it more of a call to action at the end of the day. Same thing with this one, just add a button that kind of describes what they should do, because they might miss that these are clickable banners. Since it's such a large unit, sometimes people skip right over them and go right to here. And maybe give some type of identification of what these are. Click here to choose your option, like something like that to let them know that these are clickable in general as well, so they know, oh, click on this to find the information you're looking for. All right, let's jump over to the About section. Love this image at the top. Nice little section here with some information. That looks good. Here is we have text wrapping, and what I'll do is it'll get to this line. Instead of it going down here, what I like to call icicling, it'll get here and it'll start scrolling all the way across, and it'll condense this area, probably even shorten it a lot, and it'll look really nice. Plus it just looks really more like a magazine style versus this empty space that's happening over here. And then yeah, you see how you end with the 30 worth? I think that looks really nice that way. So yeah, I think this page looks really great. It's really cool. Showing off kind of your resume, CSV, and then getting straight to you. I think that looks good. But yeah, I would just change this part right here to have that text wrap on, which is easy to enable. You can just click a button on that block in the settings section. Recent clients, easy enough. You can see the types of people you've collaborated with and helped. Now, you have it set to view more, and then it goes down here. You could just turn off the view more option, and then just have it go all the way. And then you can either have this continuing that way, or you could do it in specifics. That way you don't have to deal with the load more. So you could say it's 5 by 5 or something like that, and then turn it off, put only those 25 items, and then put another block with 25 items and so forth. That way you don't have to deal with the load more, because the next section doesn't have any load more, and it looks a little bit better when it's done that way. Also, the size of the blocks change. There's a little spacing. Here there's none. So it's definitely something to consider to try to make it more uniform looking. Like how it looks up here, looks really attractive. Something to consider down the line as well. And what's this section? International presentations. So yeah, maybe just give a little context clues what this is for. I can tell that these are probably for events that you've done, workshops that you participated in as a speaker. But yeah, I think that would definitely go a long way, just kind of describing what this is for anyone that's there. Hey, how you doing in the comments section? Let's check out testimonials. Great little section here. The only thing is, I would definitely turn on the alt text to describe this information if possible. These words aren't visible to Google itself because they're images, so you need to kind of give that context. Yeah, it goes a long way. Just describe what people have said about inclusion. Newsletter should just take them to a recaptcha. Yep. Let's check out workshops. Yeah, I have no problems with this page. I think it looks really nice. It's well formed. I got a nice banner here describing the services, and you see all these clickable options here. It makes sense for the content page itself. So yeah, this works. Keynotes. Great bit of information here. Using FAQ blocks, looks really cool. And you end with the video. Yeah, another great page. Love the banner rolling here. Love the description of the page itself. Love that you're using FAQ blocks to kind of put these descriptions in, describing, kind of the FAQ of yourself and what your purpose is. I think that looks really awesome. Some speaker events. Nice use of the these blocks here. Looks good. So you can click and watch the video. Very nice. Yeah, another great page. It's well informed. It's set up really well. Yeah, I have no issues with this. I think this is really nice. Sometimes you have there's always isn't, but it's going to take us to a third party, which that makes sense. You can see that link was broken though, so it's something to consider is check your links as well. Um, some of these places will quit at some point, either displaying things or they get outdated themselves or they change the link. So just make sure all your videos are there. So yeah, just make sure all of them, some say watch video. I don't think it's necessary since we already have a button over top of the video sections. This one probably made more sense since it was going to a third party, but it's also offline. So something to consider. Products. Page is set up nicely. Definitely watch out for anything with bullet points. They make things kind of go a little crazy, especially if you copied and pasted anything. Great bits here. Definitely would like more context. Just saying click here to read. I want to know a little bit more. Looks good. Otherwise, at the top, I like this section, but can you put a little space in between these since they kind of feel like they're running into one another? Just a little, just turn on the spacers for those, and I think that'll look nice. New book. Pre-order options. Got a little video that looks nice. A lot of colors. Try to stick to familiar families. I know it's kind of matching your book, but I don't mind the purple. I kind of like this green. Maybe make this purple here. At some point, like these greens clash, so I'd try to make those the same greens as possible. I do like the darker tone of this. But yeah, try to find a little familiarity on this page, especially as a landing page. Don't want to go too far out. But otherwise, I think it looks really nice. Just try to find some uniformity in the colors. You can have multiple colors. In fact, I wouldn't mind if it was like orange, this purple tone, and this blue tone. Something to consider. If you have any more public events, go ahead and get those on here. Oh, here we go. Got some that were. Looks like the order might be. Oh, and it kind of jumps around. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Try to make your more coming soon pieces at the top, because it seems like it's going downward, where usually you would have like the most far out like 2025 that goes down to 2024 in that order. That'll help with making sure that this is all up to date. And yeah, if more content, the better. Oh, we jump over to a third-party system for a blog and our contact. So Savannah, you got a really nice website. It's nice and tight. There are some ways to improve it. I think you can modernize this page a little bit. And just for my personal liking, it's a little condensed, and you have such a variety of content, and it feels like it's being squished a little bit. But I think you could take use of the full page length, and it'll look great on phone no matter what, so you don't have to worry about the condensed feel. I think it'll just give it a more attractive look overall. But if you don't want to change it, I think there's some really great things. Just some minor tweaks here and there, mostly about formatting. Just recommend, try smaller blocks on the homepage, and then also watch out for those bullet point issues. And then just kind of comb through your pages where you can make improvements, like by condensing sections or removing sections that might feel like too long, or if you can add context to it, like you have some images that were for the testimonial page. If you're able to put live testimonials, that works better. But if not, you can use the alt text options. Those might be available as well. And don't forget to add context to pages when possible. We might land on a page, but layperson might not know what this is for, so you need to describe what the context of that page is. But other than that, really good. Keep it up. And if you have any questions, reach out to our team. All right, let's jump over to our next website. This is Moments by Maria Photography. right, got a rotating banner here at the top, and going straight into a form and a little bit about yourself. So something that's missing on this homepage is context clues. Um, just gathering details. I don't know where you're located at. I don't know the who, what, when, and where, and why about you. We need to have that. And that's going to help Google in the long run know where you're at, how to showcase you to more people. But just in general, if I click on this page, I'm like, oh, well, I want to know more. Now they're invested to go and look at more pages, and not everyone does that. So your homepage needs to feel like a brochure page. That's what I like to call it. It should have your splashiest images. It should have your most soundbitiest context there. You know, I'm blah blah blah. You know, I'm Maria. I work in X. I do X photography. I love doing that, and I've been doing it for X amount of time. It needs to feel like that, real quick and straight to the point, to get people excited about wanting to work with you. That's going to help with not only just customers, but with Google itself. And then you can go right into the form options or bring up these sections here, then to the form saying, hey, let's talk. When we go to the Reserve Now page, we can see a little bit more of the context of the type of work you do, which is really nice. Something that I definitely would like to see is a little bit more splashier section here as well. I think that would just be really nice to see, because look at these photos. I love that maternity portrait. I think that looks really nice. These newborn photos as well. Kind of missing a couple images, but I'm gonna have to say, you know, some of these are your better work being reflected here. I definitely would recommend trying to put some of that on the homepage as well. When we come to the Reserve Now option, I'm guessing when I click here, it's going to take me to, to a form to fill out and go from there. That looks great. There are other options if you ever want to. You can utilize the scheduling tool as well, but you can stay with the form as well, and you can also build pages for them instead of just being forms if you want to make it a little bit more, you know, something with a little bit more pizzazz. It's up to you and what is most streamlined for you at the end of the day. But there's no problem in that. You can stick to what's working. That's all that matters. If it works, right? But I do really like this page. I think it represents you a little bit more. Some other stuff that you can do is you can make this into more of a landing page, so capture love, joy, and everything in between. Then you can mention like serving, you know, photographing X, Y, and Z types of photography in the X location. Choose which options are best for you, and going from there, that's going to give you more context clues. It's going to help serve SEO at the end of the day a little bit better. Let's check out the investment page. Now, what makes the investment page different from the Reserve Now options? It looks like these might be similar, so I need to know the difference. What's the difference between this maternity portraits versus this maternity portraits? There's some that they can buy directly here. There's ones filling out forms. So I kind of want to know, like, can I get the same type of package within that form that we were previously looking at? Just don't want to make the confusion for customers, like when you tell them to go reserve and they're like, well, I went to the investment page. Let's make sure that they understand, because it looks like there's a lot of crossover, so I don't know the difference between why the form versus the investment page. Maybe you can give me some context clues on that when I send this to you. All right, let's jump over to the contact. Got the fun in the box. Hello there, and filling out. Now let's jump over to the About Me. In this section here, I definitely want a higher res photo of yourself. Feels like this is kind of, you know, just an older photo style. Looks like maybe it was uploaded a long time ago, but you can tell it's heavily pixelated. People look at these things and that reflects the work they might get from you. So don't let that be something to deter them. Even they might be old photos of you that you like. You know, they are lower res images. You can tell they're heavily pixelated, and you just don't want that to reflect your work. I think that's one thing I definitely would fix. Also, you have this set in red for some reason, and you can't see any of the stuff that's being typed out. So something to consider is fixing the form colors as well. Love the big boldness of this. This looks really nice. If I click in here, get a nice rotation of types of photography that you do. Something I definitely recommend for these are, and they're probably all similar, go ahead and put some context clues for this type of photography here. Again, these just can be options below, just to get people excited about wanting to potentially work with you. Definitely recommend doing that. And client galleries is probably going to send me to, whoa, strange page. Definitely want to work on this page. It seems like it's broken. I would hide this till it's fixed, till it's the way you want it to. Just looking at your website though, Marie, I think there's some good ideas here, but I think the implementation needs to be a little bit more designed. We want to give more context clues. That's the biggest thing. And I also think putting your best work forward. There's some great stuff on these pages in these galleries that I think would have a better, opening shot. I think they're just going to be a little bit more attractive, but also like more pow, more expression that's going to get people excited. So I definitely recommend, talking to our team if you need any assistance with that, or even talking to our coaches. That service is available as well, and you can get a lot done in that time frame if you need that type of assistance. I think you can benefit from that to have this website really reflect what you're going for at the end of the day, to really add some shine to your site. But otherwise, I think you got some great context, especially on the Reserve Now, the investment page, and the